You are listening to 2Blue and OSU, the ultimate sports podcast for your entertainment.
Welcome, everybody, to 2Blue and OSU, the ultimate sports podcast for your entertainment. We've got our gas mask on. I am Zach, your host, joined today by two co-hosts who always remember to puff and then pass. Morgan and Ryan, what is up, guys?
What's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm living the dream, man. We had a great draft weekend. I got to go see Sporting KC live against LA Galaxy this weekend. It was a great weekend of sports for me.
For you.
For me.
Except that Gerard didn't show up.
We'll get into that on Friday because I got beef with him. Ryan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Glad to be here. Sucks we couldn't do this yesterday, but we'll get things taken care of today.
We had technical difficulties yesterday. Morgan didn't have internet, like a caveman in the modern era.
I was using up all my freaking data. I'm like, dude. Well, first off, the guy was supposed to come at noon. Nobody showed up until like 6, and then he had to come back today, and he didn't show up today until like 10:30. It was a mess, but got fixed.
First world problems. We'll hop right into it. We have some football talk this episode. We have a new design we're doing. We're gonna be coming out with 3 episodes a week now, shorter episodes, more to the point, and hopefully y'all enjoy that. Let us know what y'all think. They'll be coming out Mondays, usually Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. This week will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, obviously. We'll hop right in, and there's one NFL conversation that we didn't have last week that we really should have. Josh Norman signed with the Washington Redskins for $75 million. Is this a good move for him? Forget the team. We all know it's good for the team. Is it a good move for him?
For him, I mean, he's getting paid. There was last second he was trying to call back to Carolina, and, because he wanted to stay with them. So he tried to call him back. Him and his agent tried to get hold of him and say, hey, I'll sign this deal. I just want to stay with you guys. And the Panthers kind of gave him the big F-U, the middle finger, and then he was out to Washington.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Morgan said, he's getting paid. That's mostly what these guys are after anymore is the money more than anything else. But, it's an interesting move nonetheless. We'll see what he can bring in Washington.
It's a downgrading talent, but the correct answer is, of course it's a great move, $75 million.
Exactly.
Man got paid. And then the other big news this weekend, Tom Brady's 4-game suspension was now upheld by the courts. He is out for the first 4 games. Obviously, he'll probably appeal. The commish, old Caesar himself, the dictator Goodell, is at it again.
They made their decision last year, when they did the whole suspension, went through the whole proceedings, and let him play. Just leave it at that. It was a year ago. It's over a year ago at this point. It's old news, new season. Just let him play. I mean, a lot of people, Goodell made a quote. They said somebody asked him in an interview if he was going to take any of the team's opinions on whether Brady should be suspended or not, and he said it's not really. He doesn't want any individual club to influence the decision because, if it's a team, Buffalo or the Jets, they play at the beginning of the year. Of course, they don't want Brady to play. But if it's somebody else that doesn't play New England, they could care less. Just let the guy play, get it over with, just drop the whole thing.
For one, I'm kind of tired of hearing about it. It's kind of a never-ending thing. I'm sure Brady and his crew will go ahead and appeal it, and they'll push it back further and further. Eventually, they're just going to have to sit down and figure it out. Drop it down to 2 games. Goodell wants to keep the integrity of the game, as he's calling it, but let's face it, he just wants to flex his muscles and show that he's the man who's in charge. But drop it down to 2 games, call it even, and just go from there. Because 4 games, I think that's the whole issue is 4 games. I mean, comparing it to essentially the Ray Rice situation, the Greg Hardy. So drop down to 2 games, call it even, and let's play football. And stop talking about Tom Brady.
Like you said, this is him flexing his muscles. He was mad that he lost the decision and seemed to lost some power. He's gotten that power back, and he's not going to give it up for anybody. Good old Dictator Goodell at it again. NFL draft time, guys, and everyone's starting off with one topic, and it's so obvious to start off with. I'm going to flip the script a little bit. We're definitely going to talk about what happened during the draft, but there's some great news beforehand, and I want to focus on the positive first. And that's wide receiver Moritz Boehringer was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings in the 6th round. He is the very first international player to ever be drafted straight from a European league. First player ever. And the funniest part, he started playing football after watching Adrian Peterson on YouTube. Drafted by the Vikings.
Yeah.
He's now his teammate. That is an awesome story. And this guy ran a 4.38 and a 6.4 playing receiver. So he might be. We might hear his name here soon.
Yeah, and I thought you pretty impressive. Just sit down and watch a YouTube video and kind of pick up the sport there, and not only pick it up, but then get drafted ahead of a bunch of other players that played 2, 3, 4 years in college, some years in high school. So I'm actually glad you brought that up because I was actually getting kind of tired of hearing about Tunsil.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool story how, he was inspired just by watching Adrian Peterson, decided, hey, that looks fun. I'm going to try it out, and now he's on a team. All he has to do is make the team, and he'll be good to go.
I think he will with the receiver situation going on up there and his obvious athletic ability. We'll see how his route running is, but he played in a pro team in Germany. He's from Germany. I think it's just a great story because I like to call myself an ambassador of the sport worldwide. I want football, American football, to be a worldwide sport like soccer is, like basketball is. I want that because I love the sport so much. So if more people get this opportunity, I think the more young kids will realize I can make it there too. So that was great. And now we will move on. This has to be talked about. I don't think any of us really want to. 13 minutes prior to the draft, a video was posted on Laramie Tunsil's official Twitter of him with a gas mask with a bong attachment getting high. This is one of the top players in the draft. He ends up sliding to 13 to Miami. Originally reported he was going to lose 10 to 12 million. Ended up being $7 million on his contract that he lost, which is still a hell of a lot of money. And 2 tackles were selected ahead of him. 2 tackles that weren't as good as him.
The guy's an idiot. I mean, he says his account was hacked. He says the video is from over 5 years ago. If you've seen the video, he looks like he did the day of the draft. Doesn't look any different. That doesn't look like it was from 5 years ago. It's a shame that it happened, but he shouldn't have been doing something like that to put himself into that situation. Go to school, play football. I mean, when you're getting scouted like that and you're going to be high in the draft, why jeopardize anything and lose $7 million? I mean, Miami got him for a lot cheaper price. Worked out for them. As long as he doesn't screw up and get in trouble, Goodell's going to be hunting for him.
Oh, yeah. Well, Goodell's probably already going to put him in the system.
No, he's starting off the season. He's not on. I just read it today. Like the first offender, whatever they call that. He's not on any sort of probation or anything. They're just going to kind of keep an eye on him. But some say it was his stepdad. Some say, I actually heard I think it was Rosillo today. Yesterday was talking about it, and he mentioned it was somebody who Tunsil was close with, some advisor.
Like financial advisor, I think it was.
Yeah, and I guess he went to his coach and was like, hey, I don't want to be with this guy now. He's kind of giving me a bad vibe. He was an older guy. He loved to party with the kids. And pretty much his coaches helped push this guy away. So some are saying it's him kind of getting back at him because apparently this advisor of Tunsil was kind of in charge of his Twitter and his Instagram and all that stuff. So he had all the access to his social media. So that was important to one of those two. I do believe Tunsil will say that it wasn't him, because why would you post up a picture of yourself token up from a bong and a gas mask right before the draft and cost yourself millions? I also thought it was funny that some of the teams kind of passed up on him. I mean, just like you said, Zach, 2 offensive tackles were taken ahead of him. The Titans wanted him, and they ended up passing up on him. The Ravens talked about picking him up, and they passed on him. So he fell right into the lap of the Dolphins. So it was kind of a win for the Dolphins, but sucked for Tunsil. It was the whole thing was a mess. The post game, when he pretty much said yes to the text messages with his coaches that was on his Instagram. He didn't even know what was going on until his post game. His PR lady that was with him didn't help it. She kind of let him put it out there, and then was like, "Oh, okay, well, we're done here." So after he already screwed it up, after he decided to say yes, he did take money. He did those text messages were from him to his coaches. The whole thing was a mess, and it kind of overshadowed what was a pretty fun and interesting draft. So that's all anyone is talking about is Tunsil, instead of how the teams did, or who got drafted and who didn't. So.
Well, it was a unique circumstance. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that before. First of all, I believe he got hacked. This is probably the first time I've ever believed anybody who said that. Second of all, you're an idiot for giving anybody your password to social media.
Yeah.
I won't even give my wife my password to my social media.
Yeah, that's stupid.
She gets in bad moods sometimes. All right, I don't want her posting something like that. There may be questionable videos of me somewhere. I don't know. I don't want them posted. So, and again, Laremy Tunsil was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He's been a #1 prospect for the NFL for 3 years now. Why would you do this? Why would you record that? The kids these days are. I say that, but we didn't have this kind of technology when we were in high school and growing up. So I don't know what dumb stuff we would have done. But looking at it now,
it wouldn't have been put on social media though, because there wasn't any of this.
No, but if there was, would we have taken a video of ourselves with? I'd like to say no, but some of my friends probably would. I had some idiot friends, so they probably would have. So I can see it, but I just think these kids got to stay off the social media, man. Especially if you're a prospect for a professional sport or any job.
Any job. I mean, look at what we do. I mean, if that video was on there, we'd be done too.
We're probably gonna get investigated for me saying puff, puff, and pass on here.
You guys will.
I've been investigated before. It ain't no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have all done stupid stuff with friends. I know. I'm sure there's videos. I know for a fact there's one video floating around somewhere that I hope got destroyed years ago. But people do stupid stuff. Young, stupid. You record yourself, think it's funny. Next thing you know, it's on social media. But thankfully, all this social media and everything wasn't out when we were younger. Thank God.
Hey, how great of a Hollywood ending would it be if Kimdichie posted that? I'm not breaking news here. I'm not slinging allegations. I'm simply saying all the heat on Kimdichie disappeared. He ended up being a first-round pick, and it kind of validated him saying, "Well, Tunsil was with me in the hotel when I was smoking." Just
don't be surprised.
I'm not a detective, but that's deductive reasoning. I can get there.
No.
You are listening to 2Blue and OSU.
Let's get to the draft now, because there was great picks, some reaches, some bust candidates. Obviously, 1 and 2 were no surprise. Jared Goff to LA Rams, Carson Wentz, Philadelphia Eagles, which still makes no sense because they talk about keeping Bradford, so now they have 3 quarterbacks they've paid this year, big time money. They have all that money wrapped up in 3 quarterbacks. You can only play 1, but Joey Bosa ends up going to the Chargers at number 3. And
that was actually kind of a surprise one.
That was a surprise. I thought Jalen Ramsey would go secondary, but they went D end, and it's not a bad pick for them. Obviously, they need pass, and the division they're in, on the AFC West, there's people slinging the ball around, so you gotta get pressure on them. And then Ezekiel Elliott to Dallas, which I loved for Dallas with their O-line. And obviously, I think he's the best prospect in the draft. And then Jalen Ramsey rounded the top 5, going to Jacksonville, who I think had a hell of a draft. Getting Jalen Ramsey in the first, Miles Jack in the second, which could be the steal of the draft if he comes back healthy.
Yep.
And then their 4th-round pick, Sheldon Day, the D-tackle from Notre Dame, who is a beast. They got him in the 4th round. They really stacked their defense for the future. Yeah. I thought they had a great draft.
Yeah, there's a lot of people high on them to say in the next couple of years, especially if Miles Jack plays. Because he was, rated number 1 going into the draft. So if you get steal with him in the 2nd round, man, their defense could be stacked. I mean, and they're a good team, too. They were a good young team. Now, if only Blackman could have stayed healthy.
And out of trouble.
Even if Jack doesn't play his full rookie contract, if they can get 2 good years out of him, that's still not bad for as high as he was prospected to pick him up in the 2nd round.
Yeah, for a 2nd-round pick, I think it could definitely be the steal of the draft for sure. And I'm looking at the Lions on now. I'm going to talk about the Lions for a minute, and then I'll let you guys take over for a little bit. I really liked what Detroit did. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't exciting. It was substance, which is what we needed. We went offensive tackle in the first with Taylor Decker. I was kind of hoping Tunsil would slide at Detroit and see if they took him, because I'd take him on town alone. But we went Tyler Decker, then Ashawn Robinson from Alabama, defensive tackle, who I thought was going to be a 1st-round pick, ends up sliding to us in the 2nd, and we need a D tackle. And then Graham Glasgow, the Michigan man, center. We drafted 3 O-linemen, 2 D-linemen, only 1 secondary guy, though, and that kind of frustrated me. A strong safety in the 4th, Miles Kilbrew. But we did get 2 Michigan guys, and Graham Glasgow, the center, and Jake Rudock, the quarterback, which obviously Super Bowl champions now.
Wait, you guys didn't draft a wide receiver?
No. We didn't draft a wide receiver. We didn't draft a cornerback. We went offensive tackle, D tackle, center, strong safety, guard, linebacker, QB, D tackle, long snapper, and running back.
Wow.
10 picks.
I guess you were wrong. I
was
wrong because you predicted it.
I didn't predict it. I said we're probably going to, which any Detroit fan, every Detroit fan was saying that. You'd be dumb not to say it. With our track record of picking receivers in the 1st round or 2nd round or 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round back to back to back, that's just what we do, man. That's the Detroit way. I was happy with Detroit's draft, though, and I gave us a solid B.
Solid B?
Yeah.
Not bad. I was happy with the Bengals draft. I was hoping for a wide receiver to fall to him. Corey Coleman came off first at the Browns, which that was kind of a head scratcher. We were kind of like, why are the Browns taking a wide receiver in the 1st round? Especially because wide receivers, I mean, it was pretty solid players and pretty deep. But then once Will Fuller came off and Doxson came off and Treadwell came off, I was like, crap, we might as well just go best available. So we went with William Jackson III from Houston. Now, I didn't know a whole lot about this guy, so I kind of had to watch his highlight stuff. And he could kind of be a steal. I mean, falling that far to him. He's got a good size and speed. I'm actually excited for him. This is like the 3rd or 4th year drafting a cornerback in the first round. So one of these days our secondary will come out on top. But then we got Tyler Boyd. We got a wide receiver in the 2nd round. He broke a lot of Larry Fitzgerald's record at Georgia Tech, Pitt. So I'm pretty excited for him. Hopefully he can come in and help out right away because our wide receiver core is kind of lacking now. Then we got Andrew Billings in the 4th round, which had a 1st round grade. So I'm pumped for him. He's a defensive tackle out of Baylor. So I'm actually pumped for him. He can come in and help out right away. So then we got another wide receiver, Cody Poor, in the 6th round. So I'm pretty happy. A lot of people are giving the Bengals an A, about A, B, and I give them A for the draft. They didn't reach. They pretty much went with best available, went with what fell to them. So I'm pretty excited for them. They've had 4 or 5 good years in a row now with their draft, and it's kind of building a team to where they're at now. I mean, they're a playoff team. We're looking to get that first win, but we're a playoff team, win the AFC North. So I'm pretty excited. Another one, Zach, that I'm surprised you didn't mention was Keenan Reynolds. I'm actually surprised that you didn't say anything about him. He went 182nd to the Baltimore Ravens.
That was going to be my end of conversation talk, but thank you.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Sorry.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
But yeah, he went in the 6th round, which really upset me. I think which was great for Baltimore. I think he's going to be a stud in Baltimore as a 3rd down back as a rookie. I think he plays this year, and I'm really pissed that a lot of teams passed on him. And I really think he's been underappreciated all year, from college to the pros. So I won't get into that too much. We got other things to talk about, but.
Well, they're looking at having him as a slot receiver and kind of a kickoff guy and
I guarantee he does well. He's a hardworking
Yeah.
Navy man, so obviously.
But
Ryan, your thoughts?
Well, I believe the Packers had a pretty good draft as well. We took mainly guys on defensive line, 1 wide receiver, nobody in the secondary. We got Kenny Clark was our first pick out of UCLA, defensive tackle. B.J. Raji just up and saying he doesn't want to play football anymore, and Mike Pennell being suspended for the first 4 games. He should be able to slide right in there and see if he can fit into the system. Picked up Jason Spriggs, offensive tackle, in the 2nd round. We have a lot of offensive tackles. Our whole offensive line basically is on their last year contracts. David Bakhtiari's in his final year of his rookie contract, and Sitton, Lang, and Shredder, they're all free agents after this season. So, he could definitely fill one of those spots if those guys can't, produce this year. And then Ted Thompson traded up 9 picks to get Kyler Fackrell from Utah State, which he doesn't do. He doesn't move up in the draft ever. Usually wherever we're at, we stay. But I'm not sure. We didn't really need an outside linebacker. We really needed an inside linebacker. We picked up Blake Martinez, the next pick out of Stanford, which he should be able to fit right in there with Jake Ryan and Sam Barrington. It'll be a good battle between those 3 to see who's producing the best. Then we picked up a defensive end, Dean Lowry out of Northwestern. He ran a 4.87 in the 40, which is the fastest among all D linemen over 290 pounds. He was overlooked by a lot of teams, though, because he's got short arms. So we'll see what he can do for us. Then we picked up Trevor Davis from Cal, a wide receiver. Everybody knows how much of a mess our receiver core was last year with Nelson being out, bringing back Jones for just 1 year. Randall Cobb, him and Nelson worked hand in hand. He couldn't do it all on his own, so we'll see where he slides in there, especially with all the new guys they signed in off the practice squad and everything else. And then our last pick was Kyle Murphy, another offensive tackle from Stanford. So, again, with all the openings potentially becoming available next year, he could fit in really nice. So everybody gave him, I think they did pretty good. I'd probably give them a B average overall for the whole draft.
I think I would give all 3 of our teams solid Bs. I think we all filled holes. I think it was very substance-based. I think Buffalo also had a strong draft. They got Shaq Lawson in the 1st, Reggie Ragland, Adolphus Washington, Cardell Jones. Ooh, I think Cardell Jones is a place to go with his arm. Cutting through that Buffalo wind was probably a good spot and good pickup for Buffalo later on. But here's my steal of the draft. Scooby Wright to 3rd in the 7th round, pick number 250 out of Arizona. It's my steal of the draft. Mark it down.
Wasn't he ranked really high, before he got injured?
No, he was never, because everyone thinks he's too small and too slow. They thought about that coming out of high school too, and then he ended up being an All Pac-12 player 2 years in a row for Arizona. So And Mr. Irrelevant, Kalen Reed, cornerback, Southern Miss, the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, real quick, while we're on the draft stuff, did you guys hear that the Chargers and the Steelers both tried signing they both signed the same guy, and it ended up being just a big mistake. I'm trying to bring up his name real quick. Jay Rome, he's a tight end out of Georgia. He signed with Pittsburgh, and the Chargers mistakenly thought they signed him, so they posted that they had signed him as well right after Pittsburgh did. How do you get that confused? How do you not know if somebody signs with you or not?
Somebody's fired.
That's not the first time, though. I mean, there's been teams in the past that drafted the same player they already drafted and drafted other players that are already drafted. I have no idea how you get that screwed up. Someone's not paying attention.
Someone's fired.
Yeah.
I mean, to sign somebody, you literally have to have them sign documents and, commit and everything else. You can't just assume you're going to sign somebody. So somebody's fired.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was a pretty good draft. I think a lot of teams did well. I think there's some teams that reached. I think Browns reached in a few picks. I thought it was a pretty good draft. And
yeah, I had. Hey, there were 12 Buckeyes get drafted. You can't forget about those.
Oh yeah, and you guys still think don't name them off. We don't care. Post them on Facebook.
No, I'm not going to name off. We got 21 who declared for draft. 12 got drafted. A couple got signed after. Undrafted free agents. But how about Braxton Miller going to the Texans because they draft Fuller in the first round too, so they kind of went wide receiver heavy.
Well,
Braxton Miller.
They just signed their shiny new QB for $70 million. You need something to be besides Hopkins. We get to move on to Morgan's stat of the day.
All right, I have two stats. I'll make them quick. My first one, Zach, you might have already seen this, but Ryan, I know you're not a big soccer guy, but Leicester City just won the Premier League title today. And to kind of put how remarkable it is for this team to win, I'm sure you never heard of Leicester City, Ryan, unless you listen to me.
I have not.
They were a 5,000 to 1 odds to win the Premier League title. Now, to kind of compare that to other things, the U.S. Olympic men's hockey team in 1980 were 1,000 to 1 odds to win the gold medal. The St. Louis Rams in 1999 were 300 to 1 odds to win the Super Bowl for that year. And Buster Douglas was a 42 to 1 odds to knock out Mike Tyson in 1990. So Leicester City was a 5,000 to 1 odd to win the Premier League title for this year. To me, that's pretty remarkable. I mean, a team that me and you talk about them a lot, Zach. A team that was on the bottom of the table a year ago and moved their way up to the top and win. So that's my one stat, 5,001 odds to win. Leicester City pulls it off. And my second stat, a breakdown of the 2016 NFL Draft, the recruit rankings. Now, there's plenty of different rankings out there. 24/7 seems to be the one that me and you kind of go with, Zach. There was 5 5-star drafted, 17 4-stars, 4 3-stars, 1 2-star, and 4 unranked players. Now I'm gonna throw in a little trivia question for you guys. Can you name the 4 unranked players without looking up who it is?
Carson Wentz.
That's 1.
Jack Conklin.
That's 2.
Carl Joseph.
Nope.
Josh Doxson.
Nope.
Vernon Butler.
I think Gordon Butler. Boop. Yep,
3.
Third one. Yep, you got one more.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, no, it's not him. I know he was ranked. It's not Joshua Garnett.
Look at the teams. Look at the college teams.
It's not Paxton Lynch, was it?
No, Lynch was a 2-star.
William Jackson III.
Bingo.
Boom.
I thought that was pretty cool. There were 4 players who got drafted that were unranked, according to 24/7 Sports, because they're all different. But I like 24/7 Sports. So
yeah,
that was my 2 stats and a little trivia for you.
There we go.
It's Pick'em time!
And we're going to move on to Pick'em now. Our Pick'em standings. We all had a bad week last week. Morgan and I went 2-3. Ryan, 1-4. Come on, man.
Somebody's got to bring up the rear.
Hey, now we got Morgan's at first place at 7. Jesus. 7-3. I'm sitting at 5-5, and Ryan is now 4-6, under 500. So we'll go into our 5 pick'em games this week. We'll start off with tonight's games: Nationals versus Royals, Gonzalez versus Volquez. Morgan,
I'll go Kansas City.
Ryan.
Yeah, Kansas City too.
I'm gonna go with the Nationals. Also tonight, Phillies Cardinals. You got Hellickson and Wainwright.
Cards. Easy.
Ryan.
Cards.
I'm going to go with the Phillies. On Tuesday, we got Cubs versus Pirates, a battle of undefeated pitchers. And Rita and Nice. Ryan, who you got?
I'm going to go with Cubs.
Morgan?
I'll go with the Pirates.
I am going Cubs as well as Ryan. And then we have the Red Sox versus the White Sox. Wright versus Quintana.
I'll go White Sox.
Yeah,
Ryan?
I got White Sox too.
It's a clean sweep for the White Sox. I got them as well. And on
What's the date
Thursday,
for that one?
that's a Tuesday game. And then a Thursday game, we got the Rangers versus the Blue Jays with Holland and Hall, 3-1 and 3-0.
I'll go Blue Jays.
Ryan?
I'm going to go with the Rangers.
I'm going Rangers as well. So those are our pick'ems for this week. Morgan's about to lose first place. I'm taking it over.
I'm going to jump right up there.
Nah, don't go 0-5. I think we picked
Nope.
we picked 2 of the same, so you'll go 3-2. Or 2-3.
Nope, you're going to keep bringing up the rear, Ryan. You're going to keep bringing up the rear.
Hey, as long as I finish in the top 3, I'm good.
There's only 3 of us.
Exactly.
That's terrible. All right, so that's our show for tonight. Quick, short, to the point. Go ahead and like us on Facebook, 2BlueandOSU. Follow us on Twitter. And be sure to check us out. We're coming out every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday now. 3 episodes a week. Have a great week.